Hey guys, it's Jen, and I just am going to share a short little process video with you of my project life. This is week 6. I do it from Monday to Sunday, so it's February 6th to the 12th. And I have my photos printed out. This is going to just be really quick because I've already done some of the work on the computer. So what I've been doing is each week, and I'll just show you my album here. Each week on this first card, I kind of put a picture that's maybe representative of the week, or I'll talk about it a little bit more in another spot on the layout where I'll put the date. So here you can see there's the date there. Here's the date on this one. Here's the date on this one. And so I like to have one photo where I can just put the date. So that's going to be right here. And I printed this photo for that place because it has a lot of white space in it, and so I can easily put the date there. I have this photo of I was a guest on the Pocket Talk podcast, so this is a picture of me on Skype, and then Jess Forrester and Jen Chapin and Tracy Banks, who's Mercy Tiara, and so I have that in here, and I just typed up the words Pocket Talk on the computer before I printed it out. This is one of my favorite fonts, and it's called Roboto Thin, in case anybody's wondering. And then for the other photos that I have, there was some consistency in the photos that I noticed that I took this week. One of them was lots of screen time, computer time. I was trying to finish up a class, and so I have a few photos of that. And so there's that. I have a lot of photos in the car. So this is my daughter in the car, and then this is me in the car picking up my husband from work. And then there were a couple of food photos. So this is me and my husband at a Chinese restaurant. And then this was the table set for dinner that my daughter wrote. I don't know if you can really tell, but she wrote Mommy or Jen on the napkin. So she wrote that on all the place cards. So I just took a little picture of that. And so those, I just decided to print up two 2x3 photos on each 3x4 card. So this one's about food, this one's about screens, and this one's about in the car. And then for my final card for this place where I'm going to write kind of the stories of the week, I'm just going to use this little card. This is from a stack from Allie Edwards that looks like, oops, that's not the right one. That looks like this. It's just all the same. And so I figured that would be a good place to just write some of the details about this, and I may write some more details on each of the photos as well, but I'm going to use my Freckled Fawn kit from March to add some details to this. So I'm thinking that I might put the word adventure above my date here, and instead of using my huge date stamp, which I usually do, if I end up using the word adventure, I'll probably just use my small roller date stamp to stamp the dates here. And then, so I want to incorporate some yellow because I have yellow in here. And then I'll probably want to incorporate, I'm thinking some reds because of the Chinese stuff. And so I'm thinking maybe I'll try to incorporate some of the washi tape that came in the kit, and or this little heart, which I don't know quite where I would put this heart. It might not work actually, but I'm thinking I'll do that. And then of course I'll try to include some of the labels because I love those. And so just incorporating a few elements from the kit here onto this spread, and possibly a paper clip too. We'll see. So I'll just go ahead and put you on fast forward. This should be pretty quick.
So I mentioned several times how short this video was going to be, and considering how it turned out, it really should have been, but I'm going to take you on a little journey with me and show you a few of the different paths I took to get to where I ended up. So I always see Kelly Perky writing directly on her photos, especially around plates. So I thought I would try that here. And so I wrote on those 2 food photos a little bit of journaling around them. And then I decided to pull out this little white marker, which is from it's from the Jane Davenport collection from American Crafts. It's exclusively at Michael's, and it's called a paint over pen. It's just a nice white pen, and I really like that. And I ended up writing on the photo, I wrote in the car. So I wrote some of the words in a script, and then some of them in just like a regular font. And now what I'm doing is stamping the date on this larger photo, and I stamped the 2 dates fairly far apart, and then I'm using my Sharpie to write through, the word through, and I'm going to put the word adventure above it. This ends up being my favorite card in the entire spread. I just really like the way it turned out. It looks really nice to me. So I'm using my favorite glue for adhering these little acrylic words is some mixed media adhesive from Thermoweb. It's nice and strong and it dries clear. And so I really like that. And now I'm using my pen to write the names of the people in this little screenshot that I took of us Skyping for the Pocket Talk podcast. So I'm writing Jess and Jen and Tracy. And then I used my white pen, my Jelly Roll pen, to write some journaling on there. That pen works really great on photos that I print at home with glossy Canon photo paper. I added a light blue star above the word adventure, just kind of where the cross of the T dips down. And now I'm writing some more on my photos. And so you can see on these two photos, I've written with the white marker, and then I'm writing some smaller words with the white pen. And I'm going to attempt to do that on this photo as well. So I'm writing good food and then writing with the white pen. I end up hating the way that the white pen and the black pen that I already did look together. So I'm going to end up reprinting that photo. And because it reprinted the other photo with it as well, I just had them on the same canvas. I just reprinted both of them together, and I'm going to redo both of the cards just to see if I can get the other one looking a little bit nicer too. It doesn't look bad, but so the top one says good food, then the next one says making videos. The one that I'm writing on now says in the car, and I'm just writing a few words with the white pen about the photos that are shown, and just writing about our week and what those photos have to do with it. And I really, really love this. It turns out really simple. I don't feel like I need more than that. Writing on the photos is a really great way to do this. Because I use a 6x8 album, I don't have a ton of room. I don't usually have a ton of photos, and so it really works for me. But if I have more photos, then this is a good way, is to just write directly on the photos. Which you could also do that in Photoshop before you printed them, but I did not. So I'm trying to figure out a way to cover up that little date at the bottom. This is a card from an Allie Edwards little paper pad, and I don't need to put the date there, and so I'm just thinking of a way that I can cover that up. So I thought I could add in some of this cardstock and add in some of that red color that I wanted to bring into the spread. And so this is just a scrap of paper I had, and I added it to the top and the bottom of the card. It just seems really bright in comparison to everything else. And so I'm thinking about putting that tape on, and because I don't want to put it on the photo, I don't want it to ruin it, I put the pocket back in, or I put the card in the pocket so that I could put it on top of the plastic so I could test it, and I don't end up liking it. So now I'm trying to see if there's a different pattern paper that I want to use to put a strip on the top and the bottom of this card. And I'm just looking through my scraps to find something. I know that I want to put that little blue puffy sticker up at the top just to bring the blue over from the other side of the spread. And so I'm liking that, and I'm thinking about that. But I'm having a really hard time deciding. That little paint splatter card is from Freckled Fawn, and it came out last month. And it's just a little journaling card. And I'm thinking maybe it would be nice to pull in some of the yellow. So I found this yellow card. This is an Ellie Studio card, and I'm going to cut it apart to put a little bit at the top and the bottom. And it looks okay, but it's just not flowing for me. I don't know. It just seems like too much. This spread needs to be super simple. But again, I wanted to keep this process in to show you kind of some things that you could try, and maybe it would work for what you're working on. But for me, and this time, it just really didn't. So again, I'm just going through this over and over again. So here I pull another card. Luckily, that's from a whole stack, so I had like 25 of them. I went and typed on it on my typewriter, and I thought I left a space at the top for the puffy sticker, and I thought it'd be nice to bring in some of that yellow color. And so I pulled a yellow arrow sticker from the label sticker sheet, and I'm pointing it to the photo, and I think that is just what I needed. And so there's a little bit of yellow and blue right there. There's a little bit of yellow and blue on the other side, and I think it works just right. So here's another thing that I decided to try, was cutting up the washi tape into little arrows and then pointing to each of the photos. And so I just use a tiny little piece on each one, and I kind of put it to the side of the journaling on each photo. And at first I think it's going to look cool, and then I decide that I hate it. I think on another spread I might have liked it, but just on this one I felt like nothing was quite working for me. So I pulled it off, but that's something you could try, a different way to use the washi tape. And I just go ahead and add a little staple to the puffy stickers. I love stapling my puffy stickers because it indents the puffiness, but then up, like just the texture of the way that it goes around the staple, I just really like that. So now I'm pulling out some black StazOn and some white ink to stamp the dates. I always just stamp the dates on all of my photos. And so I'm using white on the photos where there's more dark space, and I'm using black on the photos where there's more white space, and just finding a spot to stamp on each individual photo. So you'll see me doing that here. And I don't mind if my photos are completely out of order because I stamp the date on each one. So it doesn't matter to me where the photos end up. I just want them to look nice together. So that is going to finish it up. I'm going to put all of the cards into the pockets, and I'm going to call that one done. So super, super, super simple. But I think that the simplicity lets the embellishments stand out.
All right, so all in all, this ended up being like the super most simple layout of all time after I played with a bunch of ideas, and hopefully those ideas gave you ideas. But I decided in this one, where I wanted to write a lot, that I would just let the words be the star and just put a few simple embellishments to dress it up, which is this adventure, a little puffy sticker here, and then a yellow sticker to match here, and then a puffy sticker here. So we've got the continuity over the two layouts, I guess. And I think that when you use very few embellishments, it really calls attention to them because, you know, those are the things that your eye takes in. And so if there's not a ton of embellishments, the ones that you do use really get to stand out. And I wanted this adventure to stand out. This is a fun acrylic piece, and I think it just turned out really pretty. I actually hand lettered it, and so I think, but I just think it looks really cute on here, and so I really like the way that that turned out. And I love all of the text on the photos. In this case, I did consider using this. This is a page protector that I cut down from one like this. I cut two of the pockets off to use as an insert on another spread and didn't end up doing it. And I thought, because I had so many photos, that if I wanted to, I could have put in another spread. So I could have put like this and this photo here and here, and this photo here and here, and then this and this photo could have gone here and here, and I could have had one more for more journaling. But I decided instead to just kind of cram it all together, and I don't think that I needed more space than what I ended up using, but that's just an option for you if that's something that you would like to do to include more. Is just cut down a page protector and put that in between. I'm still liking the 6x8 size. I don't think that if I would have been doing a 12 by 12 spread, full size spread, that these same photos would have worked for that. I just don't think that a lot of these photos are strong enough on their own, but when I make them smaller together, they create impact, and so I'm liking that. And so that's just some ideas to keep in mind for you, I guess. I was sad that I didn't end up incorporating any of the red elements that I thought I would, but I'm happy with the way that this simple layout turned out. I hope that you've enjoyed. If you have any questions, just leave a comment in the video description below, and I will get back to you, and I will link to the different products that I use in the video description on my YouTube channel. So if you're watching this on my channel, be sure to check the video description there. And if you're watching this on the Freckled Fawn channel, then you can link to the Freckled Fawn products from there as well. So thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.